Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about the movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to MovieFilm. It's episode 248. I'm Zachy Hassan. Who are you?
I'm Brian All.
Hey, I feel like it's been a while.
It does feel that way. We may have missed a week. What is time?
Time is a flat circle.
That's right. Is that an expression, by the way, that preceded that show? Or I only associate it with, what is that called? True Detective? I mean, that whole time is a flat circle.
I feel like...
Maybe it's a concept already, but...
I heard it before that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe it's Nietzsche, if I'm not mistaken.
Good for him. Getting quoted by Matthew McConaughey. He must be very proud.
Considering some of the other ways Nietzsche has been quoted, I think McConaughey's probably the better end of that spectrum.
It's good to talk to you, man.
Thanks. I've missed you. I've been looking forward to our discussion.
I know. Me too.
Now you've had kind of a busy week.
Yeah. So as I have sort of alluded to for the past probably year on this show, I've been working on a project that I have not been able to talk about until now. Star Wars Celebration just happened a week ago, and it was officially announced that there's going to be a show on Disney Plus called Young Jedi Adventures, set in the High Republic. And it's about a bunch of younglings learning to be Jedis, and I am on that show. And I don't think anyone's going to kill me for saying that I told you a while back. But it feels really good to. I mean, we weren't allowed to say anything about it, really, and so to finally be able to have it out there and see even people's reactions to the show. And I've had so many people saying that, this is going to be, perfect for my kids. And that's exactly how it was pitched to me was, this is that show to get kids excited about Star Wars and immersed and introduced to the universe, and then bring them to the films and they already know it and love it. And
then you drop them right into Revenge of the Sith and just all immerse them.
Yes, exactly. And be like, and that's life. No. But no, I'm super excited about it.
Literally the only Star Wars with child murder.
Well, actually, I mean, we're going to talk about another Star Wars show that had child murder this week.
Touche. But yeah, obviously, first of all, I was extremely grateful that you brought me into the fold, and I've done my bit to keep my lips completely sealed.
Yeah,
just waiting for you to be able to finally talk about this.
Yeah. It's been really cool. I mean, this is the first thing I think I've been tied with that I've had to be this tight-lipped about.
Yeah.
But it was thrilling seeing them talk about it on stage. This thing the world you've been living in for so long, and then to get to see, like I say, like I at Celebration, I was watching it via YouTube and seeing them on stage talking about it. Michael Olson, our showrunner up there. Yeah, it was very cool. I mean, these are people I've been on Zoom screens with, getting giddy about talking about, well, why don't we add a lightsaber here? And it's like, yeah, we can do that, kind of a thing. So yeah, seeing it out in the open is just, it's like exhaling,
And for you especially, because every room you've been in, you've pitched lightsabers, and it's finally applicable.
That's right.
It finally applies now. So
that's right. So
this is set. You said it's in the High Republic era.
Yes. So my understanding is that what we're doing is about 100 years before the prequels.
Okay.
So this is like the one of the heights of the Jedi, where they are these rangers out in the universe. There are books out right now that are setting up this universe, and there's sort of like big events.
Yeah, it's like a relatively new initiative by Lucasfilm within the last couple of years to sort of mine this era, which has really not been delved into a lot as far as I know.
Yeah. Not that I'm aware of, but I read as preparation. I read this book called Star Wars: Light of the Jedi, and it kind of introduces this moment and some key characters and events, and I really enjoyed it.
And the show starts when?
Spring next year, 2023, on Disney Plus.
There you go.
And there's still we can't. There hasn't even been images or anything released yet, but as more comes to light, I'll be happy to share it.
Here's the thing. Obviously, I know you very well, but I think anybody who listens to this show knows you, and they know how exciting it is for you, Brian Hall, to be writing Star Wars.
Oh man, I know it is absolutely a dream come true, and it's one of those things, honestly, where even on the days where I'm like banging my head on the wall just because things aren't coming to me or I just can't figure something out, I'll just put on Star Wars music and go. Like, it not only does it sort of re-spark something in my mind, but it's also like, holy cow, like this is tied to this, like this is it's 100% a dream come true. Like I it's so funny. This was conversations I had about a year ago, but like when I was telling Federica about it, I was like, no matter if I work on this for one day, just to have this on my resume is just something I will cherish forever. So,
well, that's exciting. So, congratulations on that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Being able to talk finally about
yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to talk about more once it comes out because it's a really fun project.
Well, what else have you seen lately?
Well, speaking of Disney Plus, I don't do transitions a lot. And that's like your thing. And I was actually just feeling that was like a satisfying wave that just came over my body when I did that. So I was like, wow, does Zachy feel that all the time?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh.
People don't know this because, I edit the show, but I edit those out. That happens after transition. Speaking of Indiana Jones, anyway, yes, on Disney Plus, I watched the Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie.
Man,
and I've actually, what's that?
I said this was good.
I love this movie. It's funny, just a little personal story, but my writing partner and I were in a pitch at Disney several years ago, and we're like, hey, what's up with Chippendale? We'd really like to do something with that. We got a couple ideas. And they were so like, Chippendale, what was that? Like, totally in hindsight now trying to skirt talking about it.
That's
and
hilarious.
Then when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, oh, I see. Having said that, I love what they did with it. I mean, this comes from the Lonely Island guys, and not just them. It was written by Dan Greger and Doug Mand and directed by Akiva Schaffer. And I'm sure, this has Lonely Island fingerprints all over it. It feels, right?
It does, but what's interesting, because I had opportunity to talk to Akiva Schaffer about this for the Chronicle, and he's like, the script was already written when he was brought on board.
Oh, wow. Well,
So
that's why I definitely wanted to call them out by name also, because, I think sometimes when a known persona, is associated with a project, all credit is given to them. Mm-hmm. And I definitely wanted to make sure. Yeah, because I had read, the whole sort of Roger Rabbit-ness of it and the whole meta-ness of it was there. I mean, that was always the story. And that's what makes this so fun. I mean, to really, really boil it down, I mean, this is sort of like Roger Rabbit Part 2, starring Chip and Dale, in that they are actors who happen to be cartoons, and there are other cartoon characters in our world. And Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers that we know from our childhood was basically a show that they made, but they have moved on now as people.
Right.
And have become estranged, and then a mystery brings them back together. And I just thought it was perfectly fun, absolutely worthwhile silliness. Like I sometimes we complain about streaming movies and shows where we're like, yeah, it's entertaining when you're watching it, but it just kind of feels like halfway there and then you forget it immediately when it's over. But when this was done, I was like, this was a really fun, well thought out, well executed idea that I could even see watching again sometime just for fun, because there's so much to take in as well. Yeah,
I've
we're
seen it twice now.
Yeah.
To that point, and I saw an early screening of it, and that was fun too because I was like, it was like, there was the embargoes, I couldn't talk about it, but I was like looking forward to finally the gags, being able to discuss some of the stuff they put in there, which was very, very clever.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it talked about, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything. But the ugly Sonic, that we saw on the first trailer for the Sonic movie that was eventually redesigned, and now that's an artifact of the of a alternate reality that will never be. Until now, ugly Sonic actually becomes a character in this movie, and it's very funny. But I realizing the Roger Rabbitness of it, I was admiring the style, even of the filmmaking. I mean, I noticed there was a grain to it, which I'm certain they didn't shoot on film, but I just appreciated that they were willing to try to make it lit a little darker and look sort of like filmic. And at the end, toward the third act, I was thinking, well, I mean, if we're really doing Roger Rabbit, I mean, the ending's got to be a little scary. And they went for it. I actually, there's this character that
very Judge Doom-esque.
Yes, but in the best way. I was like, this man, it really felt like something I would have loved to have been a part of, and that to me is something that I'm like, well, hey, then if I'm feeling jealous of this thing, then that means it must have been really great. So, yeah, I think.
Sorry, I was watching it. I was watching the preview with my daughter, and she's 5, and there's a moment at the end that's kind of like emotional.
Yes.
And I would just glance over at her, and her eyes were getting like glassy.
Really? Oh, that's so cute.
It's like, what's gonna happen to
right?
And I was like, excellent.
Yes. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, I just when it came out, I saw a few things about it, but I don't feel like I've really seen a ton of people talking about it, as far as I can tell. And so I don't know if people even knew where it was, but I just thought it was worth bringing up because I think people are going to enjoy this. So it's worth checking out on Disney Plus.
I mean, to your point about people really not knowing about it, I mean, both John Mulaney and Andy Samberg, who of course they play Chip and Dale, they guest hosted the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Right. Yeah.
Like the week that this was coming out, and they guest hosted only because Jimmy Kimmel got COVID at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So they were supposed to be guests, and they ended up just running the thing.
Right.
But they kept saying Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, not in theaters, on Disney Plus. Like they had to say that multiple times.
Yeah. And
it really does feel like this should have gone to theaters probably.
I was just gonna say it's kind of a shame. I think this would have been a lot of fun. So, I mean, it was big in scope, and I think it would have looked great on a movie screen. And I just feel like it sort of makes me think of Barb and Star when I watched that, a year ago, and it was released straight to streaming. And I was like, this movie should be a modern comedy classic. But I bet because it wasn't put in front of everybody, even just for a brief moment, it may take years for some people to even know it exists. Some people will never know it exists. Like, it's, I don't know. It's one of those weird things, and you've got to make sure you point people, or like Netflix, there's like a new movie every week or every 2 weeks. And sometimes I'll hear people talk about some movie they watched, and I'm like, I've never even heard of that. So it's really hard getting eyeballs on all these things when there's so much of it. But like I was saying, I think this one was really fun, and people should check it out.
Well, what else have you seen?
Well, speaking of Netflix, I watched. Just kidding. Sorry. I watched Stranger Things season 4.
Me too.
Yay! I can't wait to talk about this with you because you did a crash course in Stranger Things, right?
I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had not seen any of them?
I'd sort of, I started it a while ago. And then I fell off. I didn't watch the second season. I watched part of the third season, but it was just bits and pieces. And the third season was when, like 17 years ago? I don't even remember.
Right? Just about, yeah.
It was a while ago. So what happened is that my editor at the paper was like, "Hey, do you want to do some kind of commentary on Stranger Things?" And I was like, "Absolutely." I should watch all of Stranger Things.
Right. Right.
So before I got access to the 4th season, I was like, all right, here we go. I'm like grading essays and doing all this, and in between I'm watching episodes of Stranger Things. So I crammed the first 3 seasons, and then I watched the 4th season, which just dropped, and it's, I think, the most expensive thing ever made in the history of mankind, I think.
Right.
It is, I mean, it's something like $30 million an episode.
Mm-hmm.
For 9 episodes. So that, I mean, they spent Avatar money on this thing.
You know what, though? I saw that and was like, what?
Yeah.
When I read it. And then after watching it, I was like, yeah, but I feel it.
I was going to say the same thing. I can see the money that they spent. Absolutely.
I can see the money. And also, each episode, I don't think any of them are under an hour. Some of them, I mean, I think they're at least an hour 15. Some of them are an hour.
The shortest is like an hour 5.
Yeah. Okay. And then, I mean, one of them's like an hour and 40 minutes. And my understanding is volume 2, which is coming this summer, one episode happens to be 2.5 hours. So I'm like
episode. So there's 2, they've dropped 7 so far. Episode 8 and 9 are in volume 2. So episode 8 is 2.5 hours. And episode 9 actually just never ends. It's just time vortex.
It never ends.
You say goodbye to your family before you start watching.
It's all been leading to this.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, I thought, well, I mean, not every show has this luxury, but like I say, I mean, with the really great cinematography and effects and a cast of thousands, they are 2 episodes is like a movie, and that's like a $60 million movie, which actually isn't. I mean, these days, it's kind of like an indie film. So, I mean, if that's something that they have the resources for and are willing to do and think it's worth it, then I thought it looked fantastic. But what would you think? I'm curious because I've been watching this, like you say, spread out over the last 25 years. You watching them all at once and then leading into season 4. I mean, how did it feel for you?
I really enjoyed it. I love the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fun to see them growing up,
Yeah.
And I almost feel like, for me, like Finn Wolfhard, I'm sort of used to him now as like from Ghostbusters,
Sure.
And so seeing him back, because I think in it he was like that was around the same time frame as the first Stranger Things, right? So it's like, oh yeah, he was like a kid. That's
right.
Weird,
Right.
Millie Bobby Brown is great. David Harbour, like, doesn't it feel like this is the role that has been waiting for him?
Yes.
Right, because he's been kicking around since forever.
Yeah, he mentioned. I saw a thing recently where he was talking about, he felt a little for the kids that they would never know what it was like to be normal, and that he appreciated. He's like, it really didn't kick in for me till I was 40. So like I got both, and I love hearing stories like that. Where people, their moment arrives and it's not when they expect, but it does arrive. And like you said, I mean, this character is so perfect for him, and
it's great.
He gets to do what he does best in an awesome showcase.
Yeah, exactly. And so, the 3rd season ends in a although it's not. I mean, they reveal early on that he's not dead, but
right.
I've heard a lot of complaints like, oh, they should have killed off Hopper, and I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
Right?
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Because I love his storyline in the 4th season.
Me too.
It's really interesting, and I like that the 4th season, the group is all split up. This group is here, this group is, and it's all. I mean, we know it's all going to intersect, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But and the other thing I like is Joe Keery as Steve.
Yes,
has gone from this guy who I like hated in the first season,
right,
to this guy I'm like, no, that's Steve. He's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
And him and Dustin,
yeah.
Their pairing is just always, it just warms your heart.
Yeah. So I mean, everything we've seen, the cliffhanger where Volume 1 ends, it's at a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm just like, all right, Bring it. Bring on the 18 hours of the final 2 episodes.
I know. Well, so for me, when season one, the first season arrived, I saw the trailer, and it's funny to think now because I was thinking, whoa, that is made for me.
Right.
And like, I assume I'll be the only one that watches it because it looks so specific. But like, I was actually like counting down for that one. Like, I cannot wait to watch that. And then of course it becomes Netflix's biggest show. And I've enjoyed it as it's gone along. I think season 3, to my memory, was like fine, but I was starting to feel like things are just continuing to happen, and I still have questions, and I kind of want to have everything feel a bit more vital, I guess.
Mhm.
And I thought this season, I was like, I will get to this. Like, I don't know when, but like, I'll get to this at some point. And then one night we were like, okay, let's watch like the first 2 episodes. And immediately I was like hooked and like right back into it. And I mean, it's what you said. Like, it's just really great characters. It's cast really well. And something I think this show does really great too is, and I remember thinking this with 24 also, because 24 would always have to be sort of a brand new thing and a whole bunch of new characters. And you would always be like, well, who's this guy? Who's this person? Who's whatever. And then by the end of the season, you're like, how could this show not have that character? You know, like they're just so good at inventing new characters. And I feel that way about this too. I mean, there's this cheerleader that's introduced at the beginning. There's this heavy metal Dungeons and Dragons guy who's so good.
He's great, yeah.
I like immediately they all feel a part of the cast. Like they were always there and they should always be there. And it's just so rare. And so it stood out to me how great the casting was and the characters. But I also thought the sort of villain that they focus on this season was much more understandable and interesting than past monsters.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And it's like emotional, right? The way that it affects people and the way that they can combat it. And I thought it was fantastic, actually. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it all, this season at least, wraps up in July.
By the way, did you recognize Robert Englund in this?
Well, I was already, and I think people have spoken to this. I don't think it's spoilery to say. Well, and it's not spoilery to say that basically Stranger Things is always sort of a pastiche of things that have come before it, right? Like, I mean, I think they're pretty unabashed about that. Like, This is very ET-esque, and this is very, this is our ET moment. This is our this moment. And definitely at the beginning of this, I was like, wow, this is very Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
And so when Robert Englund is in this season, I didn't recognize his voice, but when I saw him, I was like, oh, so yeah, they're not even disguising what they're going for.
It was a fun surprise.
Yeah. But strange. I gotta say, I was kind of delightfully surprised by it. How much I enjoyed it. So.
When I heard how much money they were throwing at it, I was like, good Lord, right? I mean, I think that's a normal reaction, but as we alluded to earlier, I mean, you definitely see it on screen, and it feels like, this has been a Netflix problem where they do tend to just throw money at everything. And I feel like with Stranger Things, they have the advantage of, I mean, it is sort of a homegrown franchise for them.
Yes.
So there's at least, like, you feel like there's a way to make that back, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of their pillar shows. So
yeah, I mean,
it sort of makes sense to be pretty kind to that one in particular.
And the Duffer Brothers have said there's only one season after this.
Yeah, right.
So one wonders what Netflix is planning on the other side of that.
That's a good point. Spinoffs or something. Yeah.
But what else? What else have you seen?
So I'll mention the probably the least thrilling one last. Federica and I went and saw Downton Abbey: A New Era, which I just thought
you're like a Downton head, right?
Yes. This is what's been kind of interesting. Several years ago, I had heard, when it was definitely more in the conversation and people were loving it, I watched it somewhat on a whim and was surprised how engaging I found it. Like, it feels like it would be sort of stuffy and dry, but the characters are really great, and I, got pretty into it. And then at some point I dropped off, and haven't thought about it since. And it was something that Federica used to tease me about. Just like, I remember when the first movie came out like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, she was like, so you really find that interesting, huh? You know, kind of a thing. And I was like, yeah, I actually do. But I hadn't seen it in years, so I didn't watch the film. But anyway, recently she was looking for something to watch, and this movie was coming out, and she's like, well, you said you liked it. And so she started season 1, and the next thing I know, every time I see her cooking or on the couch, she's on her iPad watching, just blazing through Downton Abbey. And I was like, so you like it? She's like, yeah, I love it. So then we were like, well, we got to go see the film. So she caught me up on like a season or 2 that I missed, saw the movie, and it's just nice. It's just, there was a moment in the movie where I thought something sort of set up, and I go, oh, that's going to be set up to, oh, that's too bad. This is going to probably be taken away from them. Nope. Like, it's just a nice story. That it's not that kind of story. Like, things just kind of work out. You know, there aren't any twists. It's just, you know, there's dilemmas, and then they see their way through them. But it's just it's comfort food. It's tea and biscuits in the afternoon.
See, Brian, I just picture the camera panning across the theater seats, and you're like Nelson watching Andy Williams, like.
That's hilarious. There definitely was, when we saw it in the theater, there were some people sitting in the row down from us, and it was funny when something delightful would happen. You know, I'd be like, ah, and like laugh and look over, and you hear them going, ooh, you know. So it's fun. I thought I'd throw it out there for all the other Downton heads.
So next time we go out to tea, and you have your pinky sticking out on notes because you just watched.
Yeah, exactly.
You just watched Downton Abbey. All right, well, hey, let's take a short break, and we'll come back. We'll talk some trailers. And we are back, and hey, there's a couple new trailers for upcoming TV and streaming projects that are coming up. I thought might be fun to discuss.
Yeah, definitely.
So first up, we have a new television series coming to the CW. Brian, I know you're an avid CW watcher.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Riverdale, Casper, whatever other Archie comics they're doing over there that feel like some sort of.
well, you got a new one to look forward to, and this is Gotham Knights.
Okay.
And so this is a story about Gotham City. Unlike the previous Gotham TV show, which did not have Batman in it.
Right. Kind of Gordon-centric, right?
That was Gordon-centric. This one also does not have Batman in it. But that was Gotham pre-Batman. This is Gotham post-Batman.
Okay.
And so let's play some of the audio from this, and then we can talk about it.
It's just the latest in an epidemic of violence since the demise of the Dark Knight.
To wonder who will protect Gotham now that Batman is dead.
We have 3 suspects in custody.
Fresh your fingerprints on the gun that killed Bruce Wayne.
That's not what happened.
We were paid to break into his office, not kill him.
It's like a museum had sex with a bank vault.
You're just trying to get us to turn on each other.
My brother walks.
I'm trying to get the truth. Are you really the Joker's daughter?
I would like to speak with my legal counsel.
And you shouldn't have shot at her kneecap.
Turner, there's one more suspect.
They think I killed my dad because I wanted his money?
So, Brian.
Yes.
What the
You know, I was sort of conflicted while I was watching it, where I was like, you know, there's something here. But the problem, to my eyes, I don't know how a 13-year-old will receive this, but like it's the cast, right? Like,
yes,
there's a nugget there, I think. And some, I was like, okay. But the problem is you have, as you're saying, like sort of this CW style coding this entire thing from the actors to the song in the trailer to, you know, and so then you just can't help but feel almost like a fan film or something.
That was my, I don't know if you remember this. There was a fan film way back in the day called Grayson. Do you remember this?
Yes. Yeah.
and that's like Batman is dead, and now Dick Grayson, played by your buddy Larry, is gonna come out of retirement.
Right.
And it was this really kind of overwrought trailer, and I found it like when I point to like how shitty fan film trailers are, I'm in my mind I picture that.
That is so funny. Yeah, which is funny. It's kind of amazing because now fan films sometimes rival real movies, just where we're at with like technology. But that one specifically, which by the way, I do admire the gumption of what they were shooting for, like what they were like, hey, we want to do something like this, right? But at the same time, it can't look, they don't have the budget, they don't have the locations, they don't have the the Batmobile, whatever. And so but this definitely had that sort of almost like it was a bunch of Disney kids that felt like they weren't being taken seriously, so they made like a demo reel for like the gritty show they wanted to make or something.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny that it's all I just had to Google it. I remember there was like a Disney movie or a TV show that was about the kids of all the Disney villains. I think it's called Descendants.
That's right.
That I started chuckling when it's like, yeah, it's me, Joker's daughter.
That's right.
And I'm sort of realizing I don't think there's ever going to be, this is going to elude writers till the end of time, finding out a natural way to call someone Robin in a Batman movie. Like trying to make it sound organic. Because you have the girl in here be like, yeah, Batman called me his little Robin. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, right.
I don't like how that sounds, but yeah, it's just never going to sound right. Just make the name Robin.
Well, and I love the premise here, which is that Bruce Wayne has this adopted son.
Yes,
he's like Tanner or something, like some generic. Look, actually, let me look that up. Oh my God, it's Turner.
Turner.
I didn't know that. I swear.
Right.
But I'm like, well, why not just have it be Robin? Why not have it be Grayson?
Yes. Right.
So there's that. Right away, you're asking us to care about a character who doesn't exist. And then, this goes to what I've said before. Like I said this when we watched The Dark Knight Rises and did our commentary when we watched the Batman. I'm like, how about a Gotham that's not just friggin' awful, like in every way? Like, let's mix it up a little. Let's have it be like a normal city with crime in it. See how that works.
Expand on that. What do you mean?
I mean, it's just in every version post 1989, Gotham City is just like the sewage dump of Earth.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I mean, Gotham City is based on New York. Well, New York has crime in it, but people still live there and they have pride in their city. Why on earth would anyone have any rational person would move as far away from Gotham City as they possibly could?
Yeah. It's become elevated or very heightened. Yeah.
So if nothing else, right? I'm not saying there isn't room for that interpretation, but I'm just like, why not do something a little different just so that you can say you've done something different?
Yeah. But it's so funny. I definitely thought like, well, this is absolutely not for me. But yes, I do 100%. Wonder if, like, I don't know, a 12-year-old watches it and this could get them into the world a little bit.
Here's the thing, though. Okay. No, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're a 12-year-old, there's like 8 other Batman centric or Batman adjacent, or gosh, here's a concept stories with Batman in them that are aimed at you.
Right.
So this seems less about that hypothetical 12-year-old than it does like, oh, we're the CW, we got to stay in the DC Comics business.
Right.
Warner Brothers won't let us use Batman, so let's try this.
Yeah. Is that true, by the way, that they can't use Batman?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, so they have to sort of dance around it.
Yeah. Because Batman has never appeared in any of the CW shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like the closest they came was, they had Kevin Conroy as like a, kind of a corrupted Bruce Wayne. But like there was that TV show Batwoman, which just ended. That's like
Right.
Bruce Wayne is dead or missing or whatever.
Right.
Right. It's all the and then the Titans show. That's Robin after he broke up with Batman, and they're
Mhm.
and they had Bruce Wayne, but they never had Batman. So clearly Warner Brothers is putting their foot down as far as that goes, and that hasn't been the case with Superman because there's that Superman TV show, which is very good, by the way.
Yeah.
So here you have what are the other? And it's like they've already, when you think about it, they've run through Gordon and Alfred and Robin, and they're like, okay, what else can we do? Okay, and they don't have any characters, so now it's like let's just make up an adopted son in lieu of anything else.
It's like Muppet Babies.
It's exactly like Muppet Babies.
Yeah. It's like all their kids.
So I don't know.
And Alfred, we only see from the kneecaps down. Walk.
That's right. Voiced by Florence Henderson for some reason. So I don't know what to make of this. What I said on Twitter, I was like, I know for sure it is not aimed at me.
Yes.
However, my question then is, who is it aimed at? And I don't know.
CW audience, I guess. CW. I don't know. I definitely, I really was split. I was like, I can appreciate that this could be for a certain audience, and I don't think it's a completely awful idea. Like, but it's just the tone, the actors, whatever. Like, it's just absolutely not for me. Like, it was not intended for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
And isn't it kind of freeing to accept that?
Honestly, yes. I think I don't know if we've talked about this on air, but it is kind of liberating when you see certain things on TikTok or whatnot, and there's things you laugh at, and there are things you're like, I don't get it, and I'm okay with that.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it can all exist.
Well, speaking of things that are coming up, and maybe this is aimed a little bit more at you. We have the trailer for. Well, we got two Lucasfilm trailers that got revealed during Star Wars Celebration.
And
let's talk about this one first, which is less familiar to you, and it is Willow.
Yeah.
Because I think you talked about it on the show. You only recently watched Willow.
Yeah, in the past 2 or 3 years.
See, I feel like people's engagement with that title is reliant heavily on nostalgia. Yeah. And so my recollection is that you were like, that's all right.
Yeah, it's funny you say that too about the nostalgia thing, because there's certain movies. I mean, if you say Willow, even pre me having seen it, I'm just like, oh yeah, of course, Willow, yeah, right. But it's never on TV, right? Like, you don't see Willow action figure. Like, somehow that hasn't carried through the years like certain things have. But it's definitely just, I guess, especially for people our age, it's just like, oh yeah, of course I remember that, kind of a thing. But I think, I was having a moment where I thought, how have I missed this? I mean, Ron Howard, Lucasfilm, I got to check this out. And it was one of those things where I was very charmed by it. And for some reason, not all of it made an impact on me, but I really admired it. And I thought it was, it was, a lot of it was rousing. The score is incredible. James Horner, right?
That's right.
And, the villain looks so cool, but he's sort of missing the oomph that like Darth Vader has. Right. Maybe, there's just a little oomph missing from it, but there's just a lot of great ideas. And when all is said and done, looking back on it as an artifact, I was just like, no, I dig it. I dig it. But yeah, I don't, it's not something I'm going to probably pull up a lot. So what's your relationship with it?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I think that it's a movie I enjoyed enough when I saw it. It was, I believe, the first Ron Howard movie I ever saw. It was definitely the first Val Kilmer movie I saw.
Yeah.
And like you, the James Horner score, I noticed it right away. It's not a movie that stayed with me, but I've sort of grown a new appreciation for it in the last 5 to 7 years. Having watched it with the kids.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I think, if anything, I've always appreciated how doggedly Warwick Davis has tried to like bring it back in some way, shape, or form. You know, he's like, I mean, we love Warwick Davis. He's a wicked Ewok, for goodness sake, right? And so for me, the fact that it's being brought back, really, it just made me happy for Warwick Davis.
Totally.
Like, good for him. I'm glad.
Me too. And it doesn't look half-assed. You know, it's like, no, like if you're going to do it, this looks like what you do.
And to that point, you know, I mean, Lucasfilm has obviously been all in on Star Wars, but I have to admit, it's nice. I mean, there are other toys in that chest.
Right.
So anything that strays away from the galaxy far, far away, I'm also okay with. You know, like, as I recall, Lucasfilm was developing something like a non-Star Wars fantasy thing recently.
Oh, huh.
Right. And they ended up putting the kibosh on it, went somewhere else. But I remember being disappointed. I'm like, you know, they should. I mean, you know, there's this whole technological apparatus at work there. I mean, why not apply it in other directions too?
I would love to see, what other sorts of story ideas they have. Definitely.
Yeah, you know. So this series that they have coming up on Disney Plus, and this is the other thing, is like Disney Plus as a vehicle to do stuff like this, I'm all about it, right? Because let's face it, there's not a sizable audience for a Willow theatrical sequel.
Right.
Therefore, it would never have happened.
Right.
Or it would have been exceeding unlikely to happen. Well, now, hey, it happens, and that's great.
I know, and it feels big. I mean, it. You know what I love about it too is it sort of harkens back to something we don't see a lot these days, where it just felt. It's like rousing, and like it's like this like PG fantasy, gets you exhilarated, like let's go on an adventure sort of feeling. Like that's when the trailer ended, that's how I felt, and I was like, man, I'm all in. That sounds great. And like I said, I mean, there are elements that I really liked about the film. For some reason, the film as a whole didn't grab me, but there are things in it. I remember when he's battling the dragon.
That's right.
And then you've got that villain with that skull mask. I remember even thinking, like, I love this. Like, this is good stuff. These are good toys, you know? So I'm really excited all these years later to see what they've done with those toys. And I'm sure they've put together, you know, it had probably years thinking about this, put together something hopefully really exciting.
Well, let's play some of the audio from the trailer.
There is a balance between all things. Light and shadow, good and evil. When that balance is upset, the universe corrects.
The world needs you again. It needs your magic.
Into the unknown. That's where we must go.
I just love that music.
Oh, so good. So good. I feel like that was one of those songs that got used in trailers a lot.
All the time. Yeah.
Throughout
the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And Val Kilmer obviously is not in it, but I'm willing to wager that, like, Joanne Whaley is in it.
Wow, which was a surprise to me. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
And it sure looks like the young warrior person is like the son of Kilmer's character.
Right.
I mean, that kid looks like Val Kilmer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more excited to see a Willow TV series than I would have expected to be. So
definitely.
So there is.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it.
I feel fairly certain. Another show we'll be talking about is, of course, Andor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play some of this.
Soon enough, these days will end. There will be no rules going forward. People That's what a reckoning sounds like.
What do you think about Cassian Andor, Brian?
I think you and I would probably agree that Rogue One surprised us by being one of our favorite new Star Wars offerings in the past several years, right?
Yeah.
I think aside from Solo, it was the only one that really tried to like, well, what if we make like a big event Star Wars movie that's like in a sort of off to the side a little bit. Like and they even went back in time, which was having to convey that to an audience, right? I think it was post Force Awakens and then having to explain to the world like, okay, here's the next Star Wars movie, not related to what you just saw, actually goes back to the time, like there's a little bit of thinking involved with this but it was so brilliant. I mean, what a brilliant idea Rogue One was. Like, let's explore like a little detail that was very crucial in one of the films and show the heroes that made that detail possible. And I think we always imagined it would be sort of a one-off with those people, but I was such a fan of it that I'm really happy to go back, not only to the character or characters, we don't know yet, I guess, but I just love the idea of spending time on the ground in this moment in Star Wars history, right? Yeah. Like where it looks like a real exploration. Like we're always in the Skywalker movies where that's, the Empire taking over planets and their evil tyrannical rule. That just is, right? And we're watching the freedom fighters having their adventures, inching closer to trying to shut it down. But this looks like on the ground. Here's what the Empire is actually doing and how they're pushing people around, and the people who are, the secret agents and whatnot, trying to get stuff done in the mud, and there's something really appealing about that. I want to, that's the original trilogy is truly where my heart is, right? I mean, that's what I watched first. And so seeing that style of stormtrooper and that style of Empire and whatnot, like I'm excited to dig into this moment.
See what you said there about the original trilogy being where your heart is. I think that's that realization I reached not that long ago, where it's like, those movies are what I will watch if I ever want to feel that way again.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sort of freed me up to be like, look, man, whatever people want to do, like I enjoy visiting this universe, whenever that happens to be.
Mm-hmm.
But my expectations are not to feel like I did watching those 3 movies.
Right.
Because I'm not that age again. I'm not that, it's just, there's so much more tied up with those movies than just the movies themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And like I said, that's very freeing. But to your point, definitely when you get something like this that gets you a little closer to that thing that you like, then you can, some of those neurons start firing.
Yep. Well put. Yep.
I mean, it's funny because I like the Book of Boba Fett, which we didn't talk extensively about, but I think I probably liked it a little more than you. But for me, I was like, hey, it's the palace. I like that place. Oh, it's there's the Sarlacc. Remember that? Hey, look at that.
Totally. Yeah. And I know sometimes that is brought up as a criticism, but I'd be lying if I said that stuff just didn't, like you say, tickle my neurons. You love to see it.
Yeah. So with this, I think it helps. I think he's a great character. I think Diego Luna is a great actor. And when you say like, who is this guy who we know sacrificed everything for the rebellion? Like, yeah, oh no, that's interesting. Like, I'm interested in that,
Yep.
And you say we've got a 2-season story that we're telling. That's interesting,
Yep.
And I like the idea of, if it's tonally, one presumes it'll be a little closer to Rogue One, which is fairly dark. It's a little different. I like that,
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm definitely digging what I'm seeing cinematically, or visually, I should say, like it looks really muddy and on the ground, and seeing the ships getting sort of shot up and flipping over like cars. I love it.
Yeah.
And Mon Mothma's in this. Who knew?
There you
Who
go.
knew we'd be looking forward to more Mon Mothma?
And I feel fairly certain we're going to see my man Jimmy Smits.
Oh yeah, sure.
As Bail Organa. Why on earth not?
Yeah. I'm sort of hoping we see a Bothan.
I hope we see many Bothans.
Yes, me too.
Although, again, people always get this mixed up. The Bothans died getting the Death Star 2 plans.
That is true. But I imagine she has some sort of relationship with them. So
I don't think she did. I think she was very callous. She didn't even bother naming them. She wasn't like Larry Bothan, Steve Bothan. She's like a bunch of Bothans. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Now that said, so this thing drops in August, I believe.
Oh, great.
So people have been emailing me asking, "Hey, when is the Rogue One commentary coming?" And well, we had admittedly planned to do it a couple times, but it seems to me that the time to drop that would be in the lead up to the Andor series.
Definitely.
So look for that in a few months. But Brian, let's talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which is also just dropped on Disney Plus.
Yes.
What are you thinking?
I am loving seeing Ewan McGregor back. Like, doesn't it? Everybody. I was just texting with our buddy Chad today, and I don't think I've spoken to one person who hasn't brought up how great is it seeing Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan again, right?
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how into spoilers to get with this at this point. What do you think?
I mean, I think we can talk in vague terms. I feel like most people listening to this would probably be somewhat caught up.
Yeah. I'll admit I'm actually
you're not even caught up. Right?
Yeah, I'm one episode behind. I've only seen episodes at this point 1 and 2.
Okay.
So I've sort of had the setup. But yeah, I think this is really. Speaking of like the sort of Willow thing, where at some point I know there was talks of making this a movie.
Yeah.
But it just, they have so many priorities in the movie verse that I love.
And what happened there? It's Solo tanked.
Right. Well, yeah,
point,
for them, yeah.
At that point, they got scared and said, let's not risk putting this stuff out as movies that may not do well. And that was right around the same time that the Disney Plus stuff started happening.
Right. So you have this perfect opportunity then to make a mini series, I suppose. Because as I understand it, I mean, this is only 6 episodes, and I don't think it's going to be seasons. But
well, they I mean, it has been extremely successful. Like the biggest launch on Disney Plus to date.
Yeah.
Which is not hugely surprising. And Ewan McGregor has said if they want to come back and do more, I'm willing to do it.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't there something about something that you geek out over? You think of that SNL sketch with William Shatner, right? Where he's telling the Star Trek fans to get a life. And so it's like maybe sometimes you just assume that if you were to geek out over something to someone and they're like, well, it's just, I don't know, it's a thing I did 3 years ago, And it's just so delightful and satisfying knowing that he loves doing this, just because we love seeing him do it. But going back to the Rogue One thing also, this is a moment that we love and are very endeared toward, and getting to dig into that, like a moment that we have not seen yet, into the cracks of this moment, I'm loving seeing, well, like I was like leaning forward, like, what is Obi-Wan doing right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like trying to live off the grid. And I really enjoyed the whole Benny Safdie thing in the first episode, where it's just like these people are just kind of living out there. And I love the whole concept of the Jedi can't help it, like being good, and it's like getting them caught because they're out there helping people and they're trying to set up these scenarios to lure Obi-Wan out. And he's just living this sort of conflicted lifestyle at the moment because he feels this responsibility to be Luke's guardian. And it's like, drool. This is exactly what I want to watch. To me, that's the cool thing, right? It's like, well, there's 19 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Mm-hmm. So clearly there's room for story there. And I've said this before. I'm like, the last time Obi-Wan sees Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, he's like, you were my brother. I loved you, right? Mm-hmm.
And then in A New Hope, the first time he sees him, he's like, only a master of evil, Darth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I'm like, there's room for something to have happened there, right?
Yep.
Does that mean it must of necessity have happened? No.
Right.
But to say there's no room in the story for these two characters to have interacted, well, that's objectively not true. Because you can do it without stretching the story too much.
Mm-hmm. And it's a challenge for sure. But if you do it right, I mean, it only enriches everything. I mean, likewise, I think we can talk about this, but a character I did not expect to see in this show is Leia, like young Leia. And, where I'm at, like I'm a little behind you, but they're he's out there helping her. And I was telling my brother today, what I love about that is now I can imagine her as a 19-year-old being like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're seeing the moment that made her realize he's the only one she can depend on, and it's amazing.
And in that vein, when Luke finds her in the Death Star and he's like, I'm here with Ben Kenobi. She's like, Ben Kenobi, where is he?
Mm-hmm,
she knows him, right? And the other thought I had is she named her son Ben.
Right. So clearly he's an important figure, or a meaningful figure, at least in her life.
And when that relationship between Leia and Obi-Wan is something we never saw.
Mm-hmm.
And there's room to add that in. And what does it do? It just adds texture. And this is something I've said about Star Trek as well, where, you're talking about this tapestry that stretches in this direction and that direction. And you're able to add stuff in various pieces that adds meaning to stuff that comes later, but came before, if you catch my meaning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy that process. And so when I see people, on the internet, and I have to assume it's a minority, just bitching incessantly. Oh, this doesn't fit, and that breaks canon, whatever. I'm just kind of like, why do you want to be miserable?
I know.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like if you don't like it, that's cool. Nobody's saying you have to, but then just don't watch it. It's fine, right?
Yeah.
But to me, here we are, 17 years after Revenge of the Sith, and Ewan McGregor is back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's on screen with Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader. Are you freaking kidding me? That's amazing.
I know.
What? And by the way, tell me that opening montage at the very beginning of the series that recaps the prequels did not make the prequels look like amazing.
You know what's funny? I remember when that was rolling and then it ended. I think I looked at Federica and sat back and like exhaled, like, wow. Like, I just like, wow, like whoever cut that together, give them like an Oscar. Like they just like, they made me feel so much so quickly. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ewan McGregor's fantastic in it.
Yeah.
He's clearly having fun. He even said something. He gave some interview. I think it was to Entertainment Weekly. He's like, it's so nice to like make something that I know people are going to watch.
That's funny.
He's like, I make a lot of stuff. People don't watch the other stuff. This, I know people are going to watch it. They're going to be talking about it. I think it's a nice feeling.
Right.
By the way, we did get to see my man Jimmy Smits.
Yes. On Alderaan, for goodness sake.
On Alderaan.
Have we seen Alderaan?
Of all places. I don't. Well, we've only ever seen Alderaan in the very end of Revenge of the Sith.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
So I feel fairly certain that Liam Neeson at some point is going to show up in this thing.
Feels like they're seeding that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is Chekhov's Force Ghost.
Yeah.
Right. You can't be like Master Qui-Gon with that. Like the whole series goes by and he just doesn't show up. I feel like that's gonna.
Right.
I feel like that's gonna happen in some form, even if it's just his voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you have not seen the third episode. I found it quite enjoyable. However, I think we're starting to see some of the limitations of the volume, which is sort of the blue screen replacement technology that Lucasfilm has come up with.
It's like an enormous LED television, right? That is taller than, and wider than everything. And so it's like rear projection, right? It's like modern rear projection.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's such that it's the computer program allows the backgrounds to be in sync with the camera.
Right.
I mean, it's mind-blowing technology.
And
so,
one of the benefits I didn't even think about, I just saw recently, was if you want it to be sunset, you don't have to be like, hurry, you've got to get it in this take.
That's right.
Like
Yeah.
it can be sunset for 12 hours. So
yeah, I mean, breathtaking technology. However, I would like to see these shows like go outside for real.
I agree with that. It's one of those things. It's just like CGI, right? Like it's an amazing tool, and you find the best ways to utilize it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious what you think about the show moving forward. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of conversation about this new character, Reva,
Mm-hmm.
who is a Sith Inquisitor. She's played by Moses Ingram, and just the racist invective that started almost instantly. Like as soon as this character showed up on screen, people started tweeting angrily about her.
Yeah.
And it sure feels like it's because she happens to be black.
Yeah, right. It's just, this is one of those moments where you're like, what planet am I on? Like it's,
Yeah.
Like I watched a television show and I saw a character and then I turned it off and was like, well, that was fun. And just to think that there are people that didn't just sit down and just spew this hatred, I just don't understand. And I think you sent these things to me, but seeing that the official Star Wars social media sites were even addressing it and being like, stop. Like, I was like, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Never, yeah.
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor also, right?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor put out a statement. He's like, if you're doing this, you're not any kind of a Star Wars fan. The official Star Wars account was like, don't choose to be racist, to which a whole bunch of people were like, don't silence me, which like, okay. Like if they say don't be racist and your first reaction is to get upset, you might be the bad guy in the story, right? Like,
I mean, it's so funny. I'm like almost like don't have words for it. It's more of a feeling, just like a real heavy feeling on my chest. Like I just don't understand it. But I'm really happy that, I mean, Ewan McGregor, like what a statement. Obi-Wan being like, if this is the attitude in your heart, you're no Star Wars fan to me. I love it.
I mean, here's the thing. I what we've seen over the last couple of years is people being shitty about characters of color in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the very first teaser for The Force Awakens, boop, John Boyega's head pops into frame.
Right.
People like, stormtroopers aren't black.
I know.
Right? I mean, it was the 60-second trailer with no dialogue.
I know. I'm laughing because I don't know what else to like. It's exasperated.
Exasperating is the word. Kelly Marie Tran, you remember what she went through?
Yeah.
What she's still going through, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
The list goes on, right? So my point is this: Star Wars fans have always had a component that is objectively awful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were a little slow catching on to that fact.
Yeah. Doesn't it just feel so weird and counterintuitive to like the beating heart of this franchise, like it's inclusiveness and aspirational hopefulness. And it's just,
I see this all the time, right? Like people criticizing Star Trek for being too woke.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm not even going to get into the ridiculousness of the word woke, right? I'm not going to engage on that turf, but I will say, like, what is your expectation of Star Trek? Like that's the deal. That's what's written on the tin.
Right? Like utopian, right? Where everyone gets along and
And then just a couple months ago, the Jurassic World publicity campaign clicked in, and here's a picture of Chris Pratt standing next to one of the new characters, who is an actress of color, and people right away, oh, here we go with this woke shit.
Really? See,
and
I
I'm like,
didn't even...
she's black. That's it. Think about that, Brian. The mere presence of a character who is not white and or male equals woke.
Right.
Therefore, it has earned the ire of these people.
Just seeing another human actor make someone angry.
Yeah, exactly. So I look at this stuff and I'm like, look, people have been shitty since like forever, right? I mean, it's not a new thing. However, social media has accelerated people's ability and desire to put this out there. And it's just, I mean, this is the thing. There something happened in the last several years where this circuit flipped in people's heads, where normally there was that part of you where you're like, oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm thinking this awful thing, but I shouldn't say that because, like, I don't want people to think I'm shitty, right? Suddenly, we're at this point where you're like, the circuit breaker doesn't exist anymore.
And now it feels like meanness is encouraged.
Yeah.
You know, like, because it gets a reaction and you can be sort of this, people are going to engage with you, and that's maybe what they're looking for, the thrill of being engaged with, whether or not it's, a positive or negative thing. And so I don't know. It's almost like for some people, it's like a game or something, just being hateful little shits.
Yeah, I mean, it is odd. I mean, I draw so many correlations, but ultimately what it comes down to is I think social media was a mistake. Every day we get to see new reasons why it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And it's goddamn terrifying.
You really hope that like 100 years from now in the history books, they're like, yep, this thing was introduced and it was a mess. But then, they broke out the comb, worked out the tangles, and here we are in hologram school, and we're all getting along, and let's never make that mistake again.
That'd be nice. Speaking of Star Trek, Anson Mount, who plays Captain Pike on Star Trek, he put out a statement. He's like, Moses Ingram, she's got our support. Star Trek supports her too.
That's awesome.
Look at this guy. That's the captain right there, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's take a little short break. We talked through some of the world's problems.
Yeah.
This is good. But we got some more topics to discuss this episode. So let's do that on the other side. And we are back, and before we talk about Top Gun Maverick, which is doing quite well at the box office, I did want to take some time to mention some actors who have passed just in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So first up, Brian, Fred Ward, we have lost.
Yeah.
I was honestly so bummed to hear this because Fred Ward has always been just like one of my favorite like familiar faces, never a superstar necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But like somebody who had always made me happy to see in movies.
Mm-hmm. And we had just not long ago revisited Tremors.
That's right. We did a commentary track for that. Yeah.
Yep. Which is
Fred Ward probably was 79 years old. He was.
Yep.
And certainly for me, that's the movie I most quickly associate him with, Tremors. Mm-hmm. Although, I mean, he was in Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins.
Mm-hmm. That was a movie where my boss, just couldn't believe I hadn't seen it because I think they grew up with that on HBO all the time. And they're like, oh, cancel your plans. Tonight you're watching Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. And it was one of those things where I was half, this is hilarious, half, huh? It's such a wacky movie. But he's great at it. It's really, it's just one of those weird, funny artifacts, I feel.
It really is. It's such a like 1985 movie. Or whenever it came out,
Yeah.
It feels like he kind of had to live through that era, even if you didn't like watch that movie.
Right.
And it was 1985, by the way. It's kind of like it's just this past weekend. I was home with my 13-year-old, and he's like, "Hey, put on Flash Gordon."
Huh? Really?
And I was like, "What?" He's never seen it. He's like, put on Flash Gordon. So I ended up watching the thing, and he's 13, and I almost feel like it's like the perfect age to watch that movie and first be exposed to it.
Yeah.
Because you've seen Flash Gordon.
I was just gonna say I've never seen it. Is it worth checking out sometime?
Oh, I absolutely think it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Because it's that movie. I mean, the reason I even bring it up is because to me, I draw a connection between a movie like that and a movie like Remo Williams. It knows exactly what it is, what it's trying to be.
Yeah.
It has its tongue firmly in cheek, and it's helped by an actor who just plays it straight.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And Right, and that's what Fred Ward does in Remo Williams. And I think that's what Sam Jones does in Flash Gordon. I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts on Flash Gordon.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out sometime.
And I'm willing to wager that there's a whole chunk of people listening right now who are screaming at their device, "Watch Flash Gordon, Brian!"
Probably.
I feel fairly certain of that.
All right, well, I'll check it out, and then I'll talk about it.
But Fred Ward was also in Chain Reaction.
Is that the Keanu Reeves movie?
That's the Keanu Reeves movie. Fred Ward was the Tommy Lee Jones role in that.
Yeah, okay.
Because Chain Reaction is like a Mad Libs version of The Fugitive.
The only memory I have of it is when we were back in Chicago making movies with our friends. We worked on something, and some guy who had been in Chain Reaction was in it, in our thing. And I remember being like, wow, a movie star.
Yeah, Chain Reaction is... oh boy. I hesitate to recommend it. I don't think it's that bad.
Sure.
It's like a good Saturday evening at home kind of movie, you know what I mean? But directed by Andrew Davis, set in Chicago. It's about an innocent guy on the run for a crime he didn't. I mean, they really did just put tracing paper over The Fugitive.
Right.
And so Fred Ward is in the Tommy Lee Jones role, and he's really good in there. And again, he's just one of those guys who was just always there.
Mm-hmm.
And so knowing he's not there anymore, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just we're seeing a lot more of this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm scrolling through all these movies. I mean, I'd forgotten he was in Naked Gun 33 1/3.
Yeah, he's a villain.
He's the villain, right. Yeah. And Right Stuff. That's a embarrassing gap in my movie watching.
That is, like, I've told you this before, like, you've got a good movie waiting for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to commit the time to watch it. But, they just recently did a TV miniseries of The Right Stuff. And
what was that on?
And I watched it. It was on Disney Plus, I believe.
Yeah, I think my parents were telling me about it, saying that I would like it.
And it's good, but honestly, I think the movie's better. I mean, this amazing cast. In addition to Fred Ward, who plays Gus Grissom, you've got, John Glenn is played by Ed Harris, and Dennis Quaid is in there, and et cetera, et cetera. It's Scott Glenn. Watch it, Brian.
Okay, yeah, I did put it up. I have like a Apple Notes, thing in my phone with like a watch list, and it is at like the top, probably like top 4 things right now that I want to get to next.
Well, keep me posted. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
Another actor we just lost. Another very in the same vein as Fred Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, this was surprising, huh?
I mean, he was relatively young. He was 67 years old.
Yeah.
Do we have the details on what happened to him?
I don't feel I've seen them. If we do,
yeah,
but
I haven't seen anything either.
I mean, yeah, so many good. I mean, Field of Dreams, of course. Goodfellas is probably the one you'd go to first. But like,
yeah,
I mean, his narration in that movie alone is so good.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I oftentimes when I'm freaking out, I think about him cooking the pasta at the end of the movie, with the helicopters.
Right.
So good.
First movie I saw Ray Liotta in was in 1994 called No Escape.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
Yeah, it's like this sci-fi movie. It's directed by Martin Campbell, actually.
Oh, go on.
Produced by Gail Ann Hurd produced it.
Wow.
And it's got this great cast. Stuart Wilson from Lethal Weapon 3, he's the villain. And Ernie Hudson's in it, Lance Henriksen. I mean, it's a great, it's what would now be like a straight-to-streaming movie, probably,
Sure.
Because it's a relatively small-scale thing. But the whole thing is on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and pretty good quality. A decent viewable version of this movie is on YouTube. You could watch it right now.
Is it unavailable elsewhere? Is that why?
It's not on streaming, as far as I know.
Interesting. Okay.
They put it out on disc, but I mean it's been out of print since forever.
Huh? Is that funny how random movies like that slip through the cracks?
Yeah, that's the one of the casualties of the streaming era. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But this movie came out in 1994, and all the trailers like Ray Liotta, No Escape. I'm like, oh, I don't know who this Ray Liotta guy is, but if he's above the title, that must mean something, you know.
Yep.
And it's a really good movie. He's really good, and it's. I highly recommend. I recommend it to you, Brian. I think you'd like it, and I think anybody listening would most probably like it. And I mean, again, Martin Campbell. Like you're going to get a baseline right there, right? But it was only after that I went and watched Goodfellas, and I saw Field of Dreams, etc. And then you realize, like, this guy again, he's just been in so many things. He won an Emmy for a guest shot he did on ER.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and that was a great episode where he plays a man who's dying. And so the whole episode is what he's seeing as he's dying. And it's fantastic, you know?
Yeah, well, you would have just seen it recently.
Just within the last couple of years, you know? And again, he was just in the Sopranos prequel movie. So it's like he never stopped working. Yeah. And he's in the animated Bee movie. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he plays I only know this because my oldest kid, he loved Bee movie when he was a kid. He would watch it all the time. So he has a honey company, Ray Liotta's Honey.
He plays himself?
Yeah. And so the main character, who's a bee, voiced by Jerry Seinfeld, he sues Ray Liotta because he's stealing honey from bees.
Is Bee movie good? Or not good, but would I find it funny? I mean, I like Seinfeld. No. It feels like it's a little knowing, like some knowing.
There's moments
humor.
in there. I think it's probably 90 minutes is too long for
sure,
that joke,
sure.
But there's one moment where Ray Liotta is on the stand at trial, you know, and the bee, Jerry the bee, whatever his name is, he's voiced by Jerry Seinfeld. He's questioning him, and he tells the jury, "This isn't a good fella. This is a bad fella." You know,
that's good, Jerry, by the way.
It's thank you.
Yeah.
and Ray Liotta, he did his voice. You know, that's one of my fond memories of Ray Liotta.
That's funny. I mean, for me, I think it was probably Field of Dreams.
Yeah, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ray Liotta, he too will be missed. 67 years old is too young. There were still many years of great performances we might have gotten from him.
Absolutely.
That said, we do have a new release in theaters right now, and it's the only release that's taking up all the oxygen right now.
I know, right? We're in this weird time, right? Like when every now and then, if I have like a day, I'm like, oh, I could go to the movies. I'll look, and I'm surprised to see it's the same 5 movies that have been out for like a month. You know,
this is like early 1990s kind of movie releases.
Yeah. I mean, just obviously the world has changed, but I mean, we were getting at least 1 or 2 big movies competing every single weekend, and now it's sort of like for the month of May, Top Gun, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we are recording this, we're heading into the Top Gun Maverick's second weekend, and it's already made $200 million offshore. It's making $200 million domestically.
Right.
I mean, this is a massive hit.
Yeah, and it's funny because this, I mean, the first trailer for this was in like 2019, I think. And so there was discussion during early COVID about putting all these movies to streaming, right? And so I'm sure this was up for debate about whether or not how they were going to release it.
They pitched that to Tom Cruise. He started jumping on the couch and was like, no.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, recently he said that was never, ever going to happen. And he was right. He was absolutely right.
You have to imagine there's at least a few people at Paramount, notwithstanding being ecstatic at this movie's performance, who are slightly annoyed at how right Tom Cruise was.
I mean, I'm sure when theaters were closed and if they were trying to get people to join Paramount Plus, I mean, this would have been, the answer to their prayers. But like in another way, I think this is an answer to another prayer, because like this is an enormous opening, right? Like the biggest opening of Tom Cruise's career. Like one of those weird movies that we don't see a ton, where it's quite literally for everybody. And it seems everybody's loving it. I mean, it got an ultra rare A+ cinema score. A+.
Yeah.
You know?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
it's
daunted
already
going to it, hearing how much people loved it. I was nervous. I was like, what if I don't like it?
yeah, because it took you a while to get there.
What do you mean?
To get to the theater, you had to wait.
Oh, yeah. Well, what is it? Sunday, the weekend it came out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's still Sunday. Come on, what are you, an amateur? I went Thursday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So it opened on Thursday, and I booked tickets for the very first show. And it actually at 3:00 was the show that I booked tickets for, and I was going to take my oldest son, and his school gets out at 3, and it just so happens that our house and his school and the movie theater are all within a few minutes of each other. So I was like, I'm going to go pick him up at school, and then we'll go right to the movie theater. And he comes out to the car, and he's like, "Hey, can we go back home?" I'm like, "No, we can't. What are you talking about? The movie started." He's like, I gotta put these fish away." And for some reason that day, his science teacher's like, "Hey, anybody want free fish?" And he took these 2 fish. And I'm like, son of a gun. So on the one hand, I applaud my son for wanting to save fish.
Right.
On the other hand, I seriously considered being like, you're going to bring them fish into the movie theater, and if they survive, they were meant to live.
Right. Name them Maverick and Rooster. Yeah.
That's right. We did not, in fact, do that. We went home. And therefore, I missed Danger Zone, Brian.
Are you serious? You missed the opening?
I missed Danger Zone. I was very upset about that.
Oh, did you know then that it opens with the same text from the first movie?
I did not.
In 1969, a school was created.
Look at this. Blame my son and his fish.
It's funny because we had talked when we did the commentary that I've always thought Top Gun was fine, but it was never one of my seminal movies growing up. And revisiting it recently and talking about it with you, I was like, I love this movie. This is great. This is really fun. And so it's funny. I'm so thankful that we did that, because then not having the 20 plus 30 years or whatever it is of being sort of having that movie in my head, I was still giddy when I saw that text appear at the beginning, because I was like, we're watching another Top Gun movie.
I would have been giddy had I done. I was giddy regardless. As soon as I walked in the theater, I heard Danger Zone kind of trailing off. All right, well, that's in there,
Yeah. Well, so I don't know where you came in, but basically, it opens almost exactly the same way, right? With the text, the score, and then watching the technicians or whoever on the aircraft carrier in like a hazy golden light, sending these aircraft out.
I was going to say, this is directed by Joe Kosinski, and he was possessed by the spirit of Tony Scott making this movie.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
But what'd you think? I know you liked it. We both liked it. What jumped out at you?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And I think what I loved about it was it almost felt like a lost film. Like, it feels old fashioned in so many ways, but it also just highlights that sometimes those old fashioned things just work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt made for everybody. Like we talked about with the original Top Gun, where it feels like a sports film in a way. And I think likewise, this one felt like a sports film, like people coming together to go accomplish the big game, kind of a thing, in many respects, right? Even down to, I don't think it's a spoiler to say, we don't know who they're fighting at the end. It's just the enemy, right? And it becomes this, we got to accomplish this thing and we've got to come back safely. And there's just something so really accessible, really fun, really charming, really old school in the ways that I could not have imagined it would be, but you walk out just completely roused by it. And I was like, dude, I'll go watch this again tomorrow. Like I'm sure this is a movie I'll be revisiting.
I have every intention of rewatching it. And somebody asked me, like, oh, is it better than the first one? And I said, I think as a film, probably. Like, I think it is better. But you need that first one.
Absolutely.
I've heard people say, oh, this one stands on its own, and I believe that.
Yeah.
But I think much of the effectiveness really hinges on having seen Maverick at that earlier age.
Mm-hmm.
And having had that journey. And even if you don't have, 30 years that the movie's lived with you, I think having knowledge of what happened 30 years ago, having experienced that, I think that makes this one go down better, if that makes sense.
I definitely agree. What about you? What'd you feel?
I think you and I arrived at the original Top Gun at kind of the same place,
Mm-hmm.
where we absolutely had that affinity, but it wasn't like an overwhelming affinity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have plenty of friends who Top Gun is my favorite movie of all time,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel that way. I enjoy it,
Right.
but I think this does what a legacy sequel should do.
Mm.
To me, Brian, this is like Creed.
Yes, definitely.
Very similar, except in this case, Tom Cruise is both Rocky and Creed.
Right.
He is his own legacy, right?
Yeah.
But in the sense that, like, what Creed does, both Creed movies, is they treat the Rocky saga as history.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just as important to the characters in the movie as it is to us. And that's what this does.
Right.
And so it allows us to have gone on this journey where, and what it does is it shows us a Maverick who actually has matured in different ways. Like, this was my sort of jokingly, I was like, so is he just like saying, hey, I'm going to buzz the tower? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He does not buzz the tower in this one.
Right.
And I call that growth.
Yes.
But I mean, he's been on a journey that's more than just, I want to break the rules or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's him trying to find a place for himself when, technology is making what he does obsolete. Like, I find that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is the best at what he does, but what he does is no longer needed. And he has to prove to the world, no, there's still value in what I do. Well, that's something you can relate to, even if you're not a fighter pilot or a test pilot,
Right.
And so I love that arc. And I also like that all the pilots, they're Top Gun graduates.
Mm.
So this is not about replaying the same beats of that first movie. This is like what comes after that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've already proven you're the best of the best. Now what?
Right.
Right. And so you have these, like Glenn Powell. I really liked him.
I even made a note to point him out. I thought he was the great sort of antagonist.
Yeah, and what was great was he wasn't just a replay of Iceman.
Yes.
Like he was more of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
But he has an arc too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I appreciated that.
And that's what I was trying to say sort of in broader terms earlier when I call it old fashioned. I mean, it really is like, bring in this, we're getting a team together and then we've got to accomplish the thing. And there's the person who's not so sure. And then there's the jerk who, eventually, I mean, like you say, has his own arc, and it's just, it's very fundamental sorts of storytelling tropes and characters and whatnot, but it's executed well in a fresh and fun way that's just tried and true. Like, you can't help but feel satisfied when you experience those things. And that's what I thought. And I agree. I just want to agree with you too, I really love how they handled Maverick. And I think they did a good job too and he's easily the star of this movie, but he is also the way that, there's that scene when he's at the bar with those young kids and basically gets kicked out,
Mm-hmm.
and they just don't even notice he's gone. Like he's not the main character in their lives,
Right.
Like,
exactly.
And so that was kind of a fun, just seeing the way that they balanced him and integrated him with these people through the movie. I like.
Yeah. You want to talk spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it.
Spoilers.
Alrighty. So, Miles Teller, not my tempo. That's okay.
Is that true?
No, I'm just joking. No, I thought he was great in this.
Right.
No, he was fantastic in this. I really liked him.
Me too.
Because that's another balancing act, right? Because we as the audience, A, we like Maverick, and B, we know he wasn't responsible for what happened to Goose.
Mm-hmm.
So when Rooster's like, F this guy, we're going to right away be like, no, F you.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie does a good job of making him an interesting character with reason to be upset with Maverick. They go beyond what happened to his dad.
Yep.
And he really does evoke Anthony Edwards. My gosh.
He does. I mean, certainly the mustache helps, but yeah, you believe him to be Goose's son. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I like that they incorporated Meg Ryan's character.
Yeah. Into the story, you mean?
Into the story, even if she's not in the film. Rooster hates Maverick for essentially delaying him in flight school.
Mm-hmm.
And Maverick says, I promised his mom I wasn't going to tell him that, so fine, let him be mad at me.
Yeah, he's already mad at me. Let him, which makes you like Maverick even more. It's very noble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real quick, the actor who plays Bob,
yes,
that is the son of Bill Pullman. Yes,
which is wild. I mean, you absolutely see the resemblance.
So his dad was a fighter pilot, and he's a fighter pilot.
Yeah. He's, I was thinking, that's funny. I didn't, Independence Day.
His dad saved the world, Brian.
Yeah.
The world.
But we were talking after we watched it over here, like, it's so well cast that you remember everybody's face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's a lot of call signs, and some people get to figure more prominently into the plan and stuff. But it's like when you cast correctly, and that person brings whatever it is, their essence, like that's what makes them all memorable. And I thought the whole, all the pilots were really well cast that way.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. Talk about. Oh, you're good. No, I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I wanted to mention John Hamm.
Yes.
It's funny because John Hamm, like this, it's like a handsome off, right? Tom Cruise,
yeah.
and John Hamm, and yet, like, how do you play these two characters off each other in a way where you still like John Hamm?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's tricky.
Yeah. And it goes to what you were talking about with the first film, where it's, maybe when you're younger, you see the people who are telling Maverick to chill out as, antagonists, but you're like, no, maybe there's something to what they're saying. Like, you can, I think they balanced that well again with this character, where you can understand his hesitation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cyclone. He had a cool call sign.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Iceman.
Yes. Yeah. Val Kilmer. I mean, did you know he was going to be in it, or was that? I can't remember if that was.
I knew he was going to be in it. We in fact talked about it on this show.
Okay, but we didn't know how he'd be.
We didn't know the extent of his role or what have you. I suspected that it would be more than just that picture that we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
So first of all, I think what's interesting is that, and we talked about this off mic, is the dialogue that Iceman speaks. It was generated by an AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing, this technology.
I know.
Related to that, Darth Vader shows up in OBI-WAN Kenobi. No spoilers necessary, but when he talks, I mean, it's not Hayden Christensen; it's James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing, it's generated by an AI.
Amazing.
But it's like a perfect evocation of original trilogy Darth Vader. So look out for that.
That's so wild.
But Iceman. Okay, so probably the greatest thing about this movie for me is that it tells us that Iceman and Maverick were brothers up until the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That experience they had in that first movie, it was a life-changing experience for Maverick because he stayed close with this man for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that incredibly profound.
Agreed. And we come to see that Iceman has been really integral in his life. I mean, he's been looking out for him.
That's right.
Yeah.
In the trailers, they show Maverick at a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like, oh, it's probably one of the fighter pilots or something. And then as soon as you see Iceman, you're like, oh no, it's going to be Iceman's funeral.
Yeah.
At least that was me.
You're right. Yeah.
But it was great. I mean, Kilmer's in it for one scene, but he plays such like I can't imagine him not being in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree for that very reason. I mean, it could be, you have a line where Maverick says like, Iceman always was looking out for me. And that would be nice. But actually seeing them opposite one another, and it's like a real scene. It's not just something that's sort of in there to have it. I mean, it's Maverick having conflict and Iceman addressing it, and it's nice seeing them as friends, and Iceman helping him through something, getting to actually see that.
Yeah. I mean, very, very, very touching,
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, we got to talk about the visuals in this movie. I mean, the cameras attached to these planes, putting the actors in actual jets and whipping them around. And I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
And it requires you to watch it on as big a screen as possible.
Yeah, we sought out an IMAX screen to go see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just tell the difference, right? I mean, it's Roger Ebert used to describe bruised forearm movies.
Yes.
And this is a bruised forearm movie. And what he meant by that is whoever you're sitting next to, you're gripping their arm so tight that it leaves a mark. That was me. I had no one to grip, but I was gripping the seat.
I was going to say, you're gripping the fish.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, it's the Death Star trench run, so to speak.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
You know what's so funny too, by the way? I did have that same experience when we walked out of the theater. I realized, oh wow, my body's been tensing for the past 2 hours. Like I was sort of relaxing for the first time, but the actual mission. Well, okay, there's a lot to unpack with what you just said. Yes, like the plan is basically the Death Star trench run, and it's funny because it just works. Like there's something about having the digital, sort of computer game imagery of like, here's what you're going to do. You got to whip through this trench. You got to stay this low. You got to avoid these missiles. You got to go over this crazy, do this little dip, shoot this thing, get out. Like it's, it is, I think they even say it's 3 meters. And I was like, if they said 2 meters, it would just absolutely call attention to itself. But it just works. It's just so understandable. It does feel of this earth, because they're going through mountains and whatnot. But there's just something cool about knowing exactly what they have to do that makes you go, okay, cool. They made it through A. Now they got to get through what they call it, like Miracle 1, get through Miracle 2 or whatever. And, but as exciting as the trench run was, and I did cheer, our audience cheered when they nailed it. But even more exhilarating for me was when they thought they couldn't do it. And so Cruise steals the plane and just does it. I think I actually yelled when it was over, like, wow, like kind of a thing. Like it was so, because they're obviously upset that he went and did that on his own, but they're also watching like, can it be done? And then when he just nails it and proves that it can, it's just, oh man, that was one of the most exhilarating things I've seen in a while.
Yeah. And what was crazy is that they established the stakes in such a way that as they're getting ready to depart, there's a part of you that's like, is Maverick going to die? Like
totally.
Like when the movie ends, you're like, oh, of course they weren't going to kill Maverick.
Yes.
When you're watching, you're like, there's a greater than 0% chance that Maverick might die.
Yep.
And that's impressive.
Yes. And it's so, which leads me to something I wanted to ask you. I thought it was kind of interesting where, so after they complete the run, then basically, Cruise's ship, I was gonna say ship, whatever, spaceship. his jet is down. He's behind
his X-wing fighter.
Yeah, he's down behind enemy lines. And I was like, oh, I really thought that was going to be the end of the movie. Like, I actually would have been cool with seeing the Death Star blown up and then they make it back, and that's great. But then there's this whole behind enemy lines scenario.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking like, ooh, do I want this? I actually thought that as it was happening. Like, is this going to feel sort of tacked on now?
Yeah.
And it becomes this whole thing where Goose's kid comes back and is like, I'm not leaving him. Like, we're going to go get him. And it becomes this funny extra sort of beat of like not a buddy comedy, but like a buddy adventure, right? These two people that kind of have issues or at least feelings toward one another. And now they've got to escape this harrowing situation. And I got to say, it would have been impactful to have Maverick die, certainly. And certainly to save Goose's son, right? But there was something even nicer about seeing him almost become a father figure.
That's right.
You know? And it's like you said, when it's over, you're like, well, of course. You know?
Right.
But
right.
when it was happening, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it until, then it becomes like this really fun moment where they steal like an old plane and they're just trying to fly casual. I don't know, fly casual, kind of moment. But what did you think about that whole extra beat there?
In any other movie, it would have felt like, all right, let's, like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
The behind enemy lines thing. But I number one, I liked it because, again, when Maverick has that sacrifice play, the way it's staged, you're like, well, he's not dead, like, clearly.
Yeah.
Right. So you're like, okay, well, we have to resolve this. But the other thing is, you're like, I had two thoughts. Number one, I'm like, well, yeah, obviously I want to make sure Maverick gets home, but it's different than what we saw in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's doing something, like it exists in the world of that movie, but it's not just doing tracing paper beats off of it.
Yes.
It's like, no, well, this now we're in enemy territory. What do we do now?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that extra level of, the whole thing is Maverick being like, we old pilots still have something to offer. Well, here we go. Now you're in this old ass jet. What are you going to do if you're a rooster and you've never flown something like that? Well, that's the purpose that Maverick serves.
Right.
It's tricky because you can see the version of this that would be a monument to Tom Cruise.
Sure.
A la most Vin Diesel movies.
Yeah.
But I think Tom Cruise is smart enough where he knows how to find that balancing line between being a superhero and being vulnerable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's stuff
like
what you described earlier, where he's outside the bar and he's listening. Right? Yeah, actually, just the whole relationship with Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of a funny, cute moment that spoke a lot in one sentence. Where he's stayed with her that night, and they think the daughter isn't going to be there, and then it turns out she is, so he has to jump out a window, only to humorously be caught by the daughter, the very person they're trying to avoid. But then her being like, "Don't hurt her again,"
Right?
Like you could have had more. But I don't think the movie needed it, but it was enough to give it some texture and be like, it's time for him to straighten some things out. And it's satisfying to see that they end up together at the end.
Yeah. And I like that it's a more mature relationship. I mean, it's not a replay of Charlie and Maverick.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. I don't know if I even thought about that, but yeah, it's not him just trying to like pursue her into the ladies' room, like he does in the first movie. I mean, this is him coming the next day to pay his bar tab, like.
Yeah. I really liked that, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Just that,
Yeah.
And it's funny because Bruckheimer has talked about, like he's keeping it open whether there'll be a third one,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a, take your chips, cash them in, go home.
I think they nailed this so well, so unexpectedly well. I wouldn't blame them at all if they're like, you know what? I know we sort of said we could do a third one, but like, let's just be happy that this worked like it did.
Let's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like how it ended with the credit scene, just like the first one.
Yep. Me too. Yeah, I think I said that during the commentary, but I love a good. Let's see, as we're saying the actors' names, let's see a little clip of them from the film and remember the good times we had.
The good times.
Love it.
There you go. So big thumbs up for Top Gun Maverick. One of the best movies I've seen this year, certainly.
Oh, this will definitely be probably one of my favorite movies of the year. Definitely.
Well, there we go. We'll be back next time in our next regular show. We'll be talking through Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah.
And in between now and then, hey, who knows? Maybe we'll talk through the first Jurassic World movie.
You know what would be funny? I think it'd be funny if we did a commentary for our commentary on Top Gun. Wouldn't it be hilarious? It'd either be hilarious or insanely indulgent.
I'd probably a little bit of both. I'm willing to wager.
Yeah. Anyway,
a little bit of both.
That's why I don't plan these things.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, turns out, Brian, that is our lowest listened to episode ever. Wow.
Right.
Look at that. But regardless, we will be back soon, and we'll have dinosaurs on the brain.
Yep.
So that'll be a fun one. Brian, now you can talk about what you have coming.
I know. Yes. Well, Puppy Dog Pals still airing, kind of in dribs and drabs throughout the year. I think they're parsing out this season, but that's on Disney, Disney Plus, Disney Junior, and coming in 2023. I can't believe I can finally say it on Disney Plus. Young Jedi Adventures. There
we go. And I just saw the Bob's Burgers movie.
Yes, I'm seeing it tomorrow actually.
And I was telling my kid, I was like, Uncle Brian used to write the Bob's Burgers comic book.
Yeah.
And he said, "What's a comic book?" That's how my kids are these days.
Yeah, that's where I met. That's where I met my fiance, Bob's Burgers. It's a very meaningful show to me in many, many ways.
Well, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it.
Really? Good. I can't wait to see it. I'm seeing people from the show on I don't know, some point next week. So I was like, all right, we got to go see this so we can talk about it with them.
You know what it reminded me of, honestly? It reminded me of the Simpsons movie, of course, but more specifically, it reminded me of how you and Sean flew up here so that we could all watch the Simpsons movie together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized that was 15 years ago.
Wow. Man. I remember that well. That. We were doing that a lot in those days. If there was like a big event movie, we would fly. One of us would, either up to the Bay Area or down here, and we'd go see it together.
I miss those days.
Me too. We got to do that again. we should pick something. We'll do it.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Well, the plan was for Indiana Jones 5, if you remember.
That has to happen.
But now they kicked that for another year.
I know.
And I'm like, okay, well, hopefully that's not the next time that happens.
Oh, no. We'll do something before then. But that's in the calendar. That's going to happen.
That's like in Sharpie written.
Yep.
You can't muck with that.
Yeah.
As for me, you can find me at the San Francisco Chronicle, where my film reviews and TV show reviews go up regularly. My piece looking at the premiere of Ms. Marvel should be up by the time folks are listening to this, so look for that one. And
very
of course,
when's that air? Sorry.
That drops on Disney Plus on June 8th, Brian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
June 8th. So that's a coming.
Cool.
So that's an interesting one, right? Because it's about a Muslim superhero, which is just so surreal to me. Because
sure, yeah.
I grew up reading Marvel, and it never even occurred to me that people like me exist in this world,
Right.
And here you've got people. I mean, it shows it's a Pakistani American family, but I mean it's. Might as well be my family,
that's awesome.
It's very surreal, and actually a friend of mine is in the show.
Oh, really?
Cool, just to see him. Yeah, so that's just cool to see.
Very cool. I can't wait.
Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at Zaki's Corner. That's ZAKIS Corner. If you have any questions or comments for us, you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. As always, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps, and we love hearing from you. So with that, on behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. This has been Movie Film 248. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about the movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.